levantar la mano.
Nearly a year after the United Nations Security Council passed a condemnatory resolution against Israeli settlements, the regime remains bent on violating international regulations. The Office of the European Union representative in the occupied West Bank and the besieged Gaza Strip has in its six-month report on Israeli settlements shed light on the issue. The report says Israel has pressed on with the construction of almost 8,000 settlement units in the West Bank, including East Jerusalem al-Quds. The development, as the report says, will pave the way for the relocation of over 30,000 Israelis to the occupied West Bank over several years. And that's just in line with Israel's plan to Judaize Jerusalem al-Quds by driving all Palestinians out of Palestine. The European Union has been at odds with the Israeli regime over its expansionist policies in the occupied Palestinian territories. As part of its opposition to Tel Aviv's illegal activity, the bloc decided in 2015 to label goods made in Israeli settlements. But taking a stance against other Israeli violations of Palestinian rights is apparently not a priority for the EU, particularly when it comes to signing business deals with the regime. The EU has proposed to Israel a cooperation deal worth tens of millions of euros. However, the agreement includes a provision stating explicitly that it doesn't apply to areas where the Israeli settlements are located. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has given approval in principle to a resolution on the issue. If no ministers oppose the resolution by January the 1st, it'll be approved automatically.
Well, I think it's very clear that Israel has no intention of ceasing its illegal settlement activities, and that it is therefore important that the European Union and all countries distinguish, at the very least, between Israel and the occupied Palestinian territories. So there is no justification whatsoever for any funds or any projects to be implemented that involve the settlements.
Tensions have continued to simmer across Palestinian territories a week after U.S. President Donald Trump decided to recognize Jerusalem al-Quds as Israel's capital. And the regime forces killing of a Palestinian double amputee who was protesting Trump's decision in Gaza has made the Palestinians' blood boil. 29-year-old Ibrahim Abu Thuraya has now become a symbol of Palestinian resistance.
And that tells you everything you need to know about Israel. A brutal, illegal occupier, an oppressor, and not a country that should have as its capital the holy city of Jerusalem. The two things don't go together and shouldn't go together.
Meanwhile, Palestinian officials have demanded a probe into an unknown gas used by Israeli forces in their crackdown on the protesters. The Palestinian Health Ministry says the Israeli tear gas had unusual side effects such as dizziness and nausea.
The Palestinian people have been facing the brutality of Israeli forces for nearly 70 years. This is not a new phenomena. But what is clear is that Israel has been emboldened by President Trump's announcement about his recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital. Because what that does is it provides cover for an illegal occupation. It tells Israel that it can cross any line, whether it's a green, a yellow, or a red line, and that it can. There is no protection for the Palestinian people.
So far, efforts to hold Israel accountable for its crimes against Palestinians have reached a dead end, as the U.S. has on numerous occasions shielded its staunch ally who is serving the West's interests in the Middle East.